Pretend baking show. I just gotta do the egg white.
What are you making?
I am baking an apple pie today. But currently, I'm trying to separate the egg white from the yolk. Not a normal baker. Enjoy it. I'm not a normal one. So first I gotta make the dough. So then it has to sit in the fridge for like an hour, at least. Get that raw yolk off of me. Well, to start, I have to put the flour in a bowl. Most people have like a food processor or something. I have a blender, but it doesn't work very well. I want to get the butter and the yolk to blend together really nicely. At least that's what I'm told. So we do 2.5 cups of flour. I'll put this because I'll need it later when I roll it out. I need a teaspoon of salt. Yeah, we keep our salt in this. It's very convenient. And 12 tablespoons of butter. Last time I tried to make this dough, I just threw the chunks in. This time I'm going to try to cut it so it makes it easier to separate. I like to keep the wrappers of the butter and rub it on the pan as a reusable oil to make it not stick. I mean, it shouldn't stick, but I keep it. So I'm going to slice the butter. And you want to make sure it's cold butter. It's better for the dough. Yeah, last time I did this, I did not do this. I didn't use cold butter, but it stuck the whole stick in, and that was... I've only made a pie one other time besides cheesecake. So we'll see how this goes. And one of my friends told me it works best with a fork because you can just break them all up. I used my fingers last time. Thought it worked pretty well. It's a pretty good arm workout. So bear with me. You want to ground it up like it's pebble size. Small little pebbles of butter. So it's like breaking it up slowly. Okay. I like my hands better. They work better. So bear with me. Okay, so I ground it up. It's pretty light and fluffy. The butter isn't really clumped, but there are pebbles of butter, which you want. So then after you do that, you're gonna grab your yolk, Surprisingly, I didn't break yet. You get your yolk, your apple cider vinegar, or whatever type of cider vinegar you have. Combine those two, which is 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon. Use that a lot. And we have, oh, ice water. So I just put ice in water. Some people do more, some people do less. It says for a 1/4 cup. So I'm gonna get my little 1/4 cup, add it to my ice water because it's nice and cold. And add it to my yolk vinegar mixture. And just keep it like that. You're gonna blend that up. And I'm gonna use, once again, I trust you this. And you're gonna do 4 tablespoons of this mixture at a time to try to thicken it up. So I just drizzle. Last time I did this, I did not add enough. So, it's better this time. So I'm gonna mix it up. A lot of people use their food processor. Makes it a lot easier. Some people don't have one. And I do everything by hand. Makes it nice and easy. So I'm gonna combine these. I want to try to make it so all the dough's a little wet, and so it's starting to clump together a little, which is what you want, but it's still gonna be too flaky to roll out, I think, personally. So I put that in a little ball. Already, it's almost there, but if I flatten it, still, that's how I measure it, because last time I thought it was gonna work out. So I'm gonna try 1 more tablespoon. And if your dough is flaky when you're trying to roll it out after you refrigerate it, which happens, I just got really mad and grabbed an ice cube and just rubbed it all, a nice cold ice cube, to keep it together. Oh, I have a visitor. You want to say hi, buddy? This is my cooking assistant. He's my vacuum. He's nervous. It's his first time. Mine too. So, let's do the clump test again. Clump it together. The way I like to see. Once again, just smush it. Still really crumbly. So, in my opinion, I'm gonna put it. Makes it easier to roll out. So now I've added about 6 tablespoons of that yolk mixture. Just last time, I was really mad. I don't recommend that. I almost gave up. Okay, let's see now. Okay, it's feeling a little sticky, so it's actually good because we're gonna roll it out. Yep, feeling good. So just get this all off your fingers, keep using it. Save that just in case. Wipe up my solution really quick. And we're gonna roll it up. A nice little this before. So, it's my flour surface. A lot of people use like cutting boards or whatever. I like my counter. So I'm gonna pour it all into here. And we're gonna turn it out. Try to bring it together. Now it is absorbing a lot of my flour mixture. So it's really crumbly. And this is where I got last time, where I got really angry. Because you wanted to put in a bowl. It's still super crumbly, so that's why I keep a little bit of this. And I'm gonna break it. Sprinkle in some of the spots. Nobody ever shows you how to make the dough. They just tell you. There's videos that they show you. Or so. Okay. See, so it's super dry on the bottom because it did absorb a decent amount of the flour that was on the counter. This is when Rowdy comes in handy. Vacuum. A little vacuum. Well, he's heavier than a normal vacuum now, I guess. So in my opinion, I still think this is going to be too dry to roll out. But this is my pretend baking show. So we'll find out. This could all turn out terrible. It'll just be a funny video in the end of how not to make apple pie. Okay. Crumbly. It says to cut in half. So cut in half. You cut that in half. -4, 8. So you want 8 little sections. That way you can knead each section. I'm already feeling the frustration I had last time. Not a good sign. Everything's coming apart. So it says to flatten each section. Just basically making sure all the butter pebbles are getting expanded. I have another guest appearance.
Chocolate.
Do it. Then you combine them all together again Will you get me some saran wrap? You combine it all together again, making sure all the butter is nice and expanded. Smell this. So now it's starting to stay together a little better. So now you basically cut it in half, but have one side a little bit bigger than the other, and lay it down. I recommend laying this down. Last time I tried to do it after. Rookie move, I guess. So what you do is then with your hands, you just, I got my vacuum between my legs. You just stiffen it up a little. I'm gonna add a little more liquid. Because I think it's gonna help it. And you're gonna cover that. And we're gonna refrigerate it. Refrigerate it for at least an hour. For this one, you want to make sure one is slightly bigger than the other for the bottom. Rowdy.
Rowdy, come here. Rowdy, come.
Okay. No manners. Okay, and then now we have the second one. I got my saran wrap. Lay it down. We're gonna lay this guy on top too. Now push it out. Just a few more drops, just drops. That's really. You can always add more flour if you need to, and we're gonna turn it later on a floured surface. So. Roll it out and cover it up. Like I did to the other one, it kind of roll it out a little, make it easier for me later. Current Alley's thinking of future Alley. They're a little crinkly, but now we'll just refrigerate them for an hour. And while we do that, I'll make the filling. So I'm gonna start with the filling for the apple, fresh. I am gonna peel, core, and cut these, and then we're gonna get to it. Alright, so I cut, sliced, and cored all the apples, ate a few. And now we're going to just combine all the filling stuff, which is lemon, and that makes it so the apples don't turn brown. Cinnamon, nutmeg, a little flour for thickening, and sugar and salt. That's it. So let's start. We're going to start with the sugar, which is 3/4 of a cup, which my cup was still in the water from earlier for the dough. So I'm going to dry that guy out. Dry. So 3/4 of a cup of sugar. 2, and 3. Okay. Then we have the flour. Oops. Threw that around a little already. So for flour, it is 2 tablespoons. Not that much flour. Not really much. Keep finding more surprises. So 2 tablespoons. Yeah. Catching myself. Tablespoons of flour. And a half a teaspoon of salt. That's gonna be this little guy. Half a teaspoon of salt. We have a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. It's even smaller. Which is just like that. 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Smells like Thanksgiving right there. And we have 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Teaspoon of cinnamon. Cinnamon, nutmeg. Oh, and I forgot about the half a lemon. So we actually have a lime squeezer, which I am going to use. But I'm gonna cut it smaller. It's also nice because it catches the seeds. Shove that guy in there. Let me see if I can. There we go. 1/4 down. Yes, I throw everything into the sink. Ah! And the final piece. Okay. Whoops. And now all I'm going to do is just mix it all up so all the apple slices have been coated in my delicious mixture. Cinnamon, sugar, and everything nice. Just when I thought I was done, I found a clump of cinnamon. So make sure you mix it all up because you don't want some really cinnamon pieces and some not, or even a lot of nutmeg and some. So once you mix it all up, we're just gonna cover and refrigerate until our dough is ready to roll out. Okay guys, it's been about an hour and a half. These have been in the fridge. So now I'm gonna roll them out. That way we can place it into the pie pan. I actually don't have a pie pan, and so I make square pies. Works for me. So I'm just gonna lay a little flour down, and then we're just gonna roll it right thin, basically to the thickness that you want it, and we're just gonna roll it out. Okay guys, so everyone wants like perfect dough, but for me, I just like to kind of put it in, like just have it go where I think the dough should go. And then the hangover pieces, instead of cutting them off and discarding them, I use them as like a filler piece because, I mean, why not? If I can get the most out of all my dough and not waste anything, then it works. So then I get like nice thick corners because I like thick crust on my pies. So I made it like an eighth thick of an inch if you use inches, and I just keep making it go around. And so it's not the most beautiful, but it is only the second pie I've ever made. I would probably recommend when making the dough to use more water in the beginning. It only said like 4 tablespoons. I think maybe like 6 or something. Like when we did the scoop with the egg and the vinegar, I think we need to do like probably at least 5 or 6 scoops, because I had to stick my hand in water a few times to get it to stay together. Okay, so now we're just gonna roll out, we're gonna dump it, we're gonna roll out the top, and then we're gonna stick it in the oven. Oh, and I preheated the oven to 375 if I didn't say that already. Okay guys, so I rolled the top one out, put my apples inside. It's pretty full. I was gonna do like 6 apples. I ended up only needing, I think it was 5. Mine were pretty large apples. Oh, and I used a spatula to get these up. Some people just wrap it around their rolling pin, but for me, I just like to use a spatula. Makes it nice and easy. So now I'm gonna put the top over it. Last time I did this, it cracked a little, but it turned out pretty yummy. Crust turned out really good. And so any of the extras, like I was saying, I kind of just use other places. So it's, I mean, it's not the most beautiful thing, because I mean, I've never taken any cooking classes. I just read a recipe and give it a go. So I'm just covering all my apples. Hopefully this all tastes good. So as you can see, there's some like ugly spots, but I mean, it's all gonna cook and turn out some way or another. Who needs perfect pie? I certainly do not. I used to always try, and I'd make stuff, want it perfect. Now I just want it to taste good. Okay, so after you put the top on, you still have your egg white from earlier. What you're gonna do is you're just gonna brush it right on top, which I can't find. So I'm just gonna use my hand because why not? So this is gonna create like a nice little crispy glaze over the top. And I'm just spreading that egg white right all over. It's funny because I don't really like eggs, but this really adds a nice touch. Okay, so now that I put it all over, especially the crust, like the edge, makes it really nice and crispy. After you do that, the final step. One of the final steps is the sugar. So I'm just gonna use one of my little measuring things. Just depends on how sweet you want the top to be. Just use normal sugar, and I'm sprinkling it all over the top. Oop, that was a lot right there. Okay, so we creamed. If you want, you can add like cinnamon to make it like a cinnamon sugar top or anything. But the most important part is that it needs vents. And so I just cut a little vent. You can do whatever pattern you want. Today, I'm just gonna do the typical pie holes. Maybe make sure there's little holes on the side, since I know my crust is a little funky. So, not the most beautiful. We're gonna put it in the oven about 50 to 60 minutes. And then you wanna make sure that you let it cool completely before you cut it. But we'll see how it goes. See you in an hour. So I pulled it out, about 55 minutes. The final product. Not the most beautiful, but it smells amazing. What I like about square pans, you get corners. This one got a little juicy. Oops. It's beautiful, right? Ooze it out like that. Crust is good. And the verdict on it. First time making this one. We're good.